Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today is the final part 4 in my background techniques mini series, and this is like our bonus one because I originally only planned on doing 3 and then I realised I'd missed out misters, so I thought it would be fun to add that in. So I'm going to be using some different stencils and a couple of different misters to give you a few different cards. So since it's the same kind of technique with the misters, I'm only going to do this as one video, but it is several cards here for you to give you different ideas. So I'm starting off with this gorgeous butterfly cascade stencil from Phil Martin's Sentimentally Yours, and I'm using one of these little plastic boxes, just the lid, and I've got a normal just regular bit of cardstock and a couple of different misters. These happen to be Cosmic Shimmer, and as always I will put a list with links of all the products used on the blog post, so just go to the link below this video and you will get to that easily. So I'm starting off here with this beautiful purple and then just gently spraying over the stencil just where I want the different colours. It's a really simple thing. I'm pointing the mister directly downwards, but you could do it at a slightly different angle if you wanted to, just to get a slightly different effect. Just be careful when you do that with the stencils because the ink can leak underneath. Now I did dry this off with my heat gun. I think in hindsight I wouldn't do that again. I'd let it dry on its own. I was just trying to speed things up, but I think what I actually did was move the ink and kind of make it go underneath a little bit. I don't mind it. I quite like the effect, but I probably would have preferred it done slightly differently. So this is a gorgeous stencil by That Special Touch, and again just a couple of misters, the same company, Cosmic Shimmer, this beautiful teal, and again I'm just spraying it through the stencil and just putting the different colours where I want. I'm trying to go for a more misty look here rather than where it was the butterflies, it kind of blobbed a little bit. I kind of was a little bit more aggressive with the mister, so here I'm just going to press it down just a little bit more lightly, and also putting a bit less ink actually on to the cardstock. So now I'm taking off my stencil, I'm moving my piece of paper to one side. I'm going to let this one dry naturally. So as you can see, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and what you can see here is where we sprayed through, you've got the ink, and then the stencil mark is just paper. So what I'm going to do here is the reverse. I'm not going to waste all that beautiful ink that's on top of the stencil, so I'm going to take a bit of paper, pop it on top of that stencil, collect all that ink. So now what we've got is ink in the shape of the stencil, and the gaps are white from the paper, so it's kind of a negative and positive effect with the same stencil, and you're getting 2 for the price of 1, so you're not wasting any of your ink, which is fab. So then I'm just cutting down the first piece. This is the one that I put onto the stencil, and then I'm taking a bit of foundation, Creative Expressions foundation card. I don't know the colour of it, I'm really sorry, and I'm just sticking my paper patterned background piece onto that. I think it's a 5x5 or it could be 6x6, and then I'm taking the same cardstock and a Altenew Mega Greetings die. This one says happy, and I'm die cutting that from that beautiful card, and I'm die cutting that twice. You could do it 3 times. I would have probably done it 3 times, but since the scrap piece of card just did the 2, I thought, oh well, that'll be enough. It's good enough. It's very nice thick cardstock. So then I'm sticking the 2 together. On this occasion I'm just using my zig. I think I probably would have just done the zig actually as I did it later, which was using the Cosmic Shimmer and the zig, but it worked fine. And then I want to take the Mega Greetings stamp set, and it's got a birthday stamp in there, and I'm just positioning that where I want it to be. And then I decided, actually I haven't stuck that front down yet, and I decided that I would prefer the pattern the other way round, so I'm just working out exactly where I want to position the stamp. I'm not sticking the card die cut yet, because when I stamp it, if the die cut's there, because it's quite thick, it would be a bit of a problem. The sort of die cut would stop me pressing the stamp down beautifully, because it would kind of act as a like a ledge, and it would stop you going down because it's so close. So I just worked out where it was. Using this stamp platform thing here, I actually lined up the side line and the bottom line on that platform, so that when I stamped it I knew exactly where to line it up so that it would be in the right position. I know it kind of looked like I would be just random, spent all that time placing it and then sort of like just randomly stamping, but no, it was actually positioned correctly. And then I took my Cosmic Shimmer and I stuck that to the front of my card. I then decided to use that last little bit of scrap, which wasn't quite big enough for my die, which is why I didn't use it, but I thought it would be a really nice effect just to add that bit of colour onto the inside. And you could of course just do the whole piece, but I thought it was quite nice just at the bottom, and it used that piece up rather than starting on a new bit. And this is where I did that slightly differently with the gluing on this bit, and I think that worked better. I put the Cosmic Shimmer on the wide pieces, and then I just used the Zig glue pen on the slightly thinner bits. I could have actually got the Cosmic Shimmer on those thinner bits, it would have worked okay, but I was just trying a slightly different technique and I think it worked well. So then I'm just sticking that to the front of the card, just carefully positioning it so it kind of obviously links with the birthday but is not overpowering it too much, and position that down at a slight angle. You can actually straighten that. Happy it works at an angle and straight. It's quite a clever way that they've done the script for that. And there was that one finished. So now we're taking the other background that we created using that same template, and this is the one that was the original one that we sprayed through the template. But for this I decided that I'm going to cut just a strip. I'm not going to use all of it, so I cut this sort of wide strip, and then I took another bit of the Foundations cardstock, different colour. So I'm picking up a different of the two colours that I used. I'm picking up the lighter one, and then I'm going to stick that down again using Cosmic Shimmer to that card aqua piece, and I use that just as a nice matte, and I think that looks really effective. I haven't cut it to the right width yet, so that when I put it on the card base it will work. Then I'll be able to check exactly, as I have with others, that it fits perfectly. I do find that it works better that way. It's slightly less options because obviously I've got the pattern piece on there, so if it's like massively short I've got a problem, but it shouldn't be. And then I'm just using my Cosmic Shimmer again and just popping that on the back to stick it down to my card base. Again, I'm using my 6x6 white card base. This is a pre-made card that I have, and this is one of the cards that I actually had made from my paper guy. And just sticking that down, you can see the pattern piece is just a little bit wider, so that's good. And then again, like on the other card, I decided to use a bit of the scrap on the inside, and just to mirror that kind of look by putting the strip across, but obviously without the pattern. And then just using my scissors, or you could use your trimmer if you wanted to, I'm just cutting that excess off on both of those. And I think that looks really effective. And I decided on this one not to put any sentiment. I did think about putting a die cut sentiment on it, but I decided in the end to leave it plain. So then our final background that we did is these beautiful butterflies. So again, I'm just cutting that down. It's not 100% straight, so I had to kind of do that by eye and get that to be a really nice piece. Now originally I was going to stick this to this as a card, but once I looked at it, I decided that I actually would prefer to use the pink as a matte, and just so stick it to that and just have a little accent of the colour rather than have all of that colour showing. So I stuck it slightly over. It's off squiff slightly because the card had actually a little dent on the corner, so I didn't want to have that bit. And then I just trimmed it so there was just a small amount on the pink to the edge. I felt that having all of the pink just totally overpowered the butterflies. That's just a personal view, but I just felt that didn't work for me. So then I stuck that onto an A5 card, which you can see is a little too tall, but I didn't really mind. I just cut the top off basically. I knew that I could either make an envelope to fit or I would find one. I've got some different envelopes and I actually did find one that fitted fine. It was really random actually. It was just a very odd size, but I seemed to have an envelope that was a perfect fit, so that worked really well. So then I decided to stamp a sentiment, and I used that beautiful Alter New Rubelite ink colour and a Creative Expressions gorgeous stamp set called Big Ideas. Again, as I said before, I will link all of these. I think in hindsight it was too squishy and I wished I hadn't put that there. I think it looks okay, but I think it would looked better without it, and I should have either put it on the inside or just left it off completely as I did with the other card. So that's it. That's our 3 cards for this video. As I said earlier, I didn't separate these into separate videos because unlike our previous background technique videos where I did separate them, these are basically the same technique, whereas the others I was using the same medium but slightly different techniques to create different effects with them. So I thought for this one, since it's basically the same thing, spraying through a stencil, I would keep it all on the same video, but it was quite nice, I think, to show a different looks using that same technique. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you like the cards that we've made over this series. I hope it's given you some ideas. I think it shows that there are just so many ways that you can use these different things to create multiple different backgrounds, and I think for me what I discovered was that the beauty is that whatever you do with this, it really doesn't create a wrong result. It just creates a really random, different look, and I think it's really effective, and you can do very complicated looking things that are actually really simple to achieve and quite quick as well, potentially. So you could end up making quite a few cards if you had some bulk ones to do, not just with these today but with any of those across the series, and create some really effective looking cards. I hope you agree. So thank you so much for watching this series with me. I've really enjoyed doing it for you. I hope you've enjoyed watching. So thank you again, and I will see you again next time. Don't forget, as I said before, that to find the photographs for these, to get links to the other videos, to get links to the products used, go to the link below this video, click on where it says show more in the paragraph below, and you will find a link to the corresponding blog post, and it will have all that information on there for you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do, either here on YouTube or on my website. If you do subscribe to the website, you will get an email every time there's a post, which will take you directly to that post and video. Anyway, I am definitely saying goodbye now, so thank you again, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now. Bye.